Also in this room, we have an exercise in portraiture. We talk about self-portrait with Adrian Piper. Upstairs, if you look at this room, you're actually bouncing back. You're bouncing from portrait to portrait. With Mauro Cerqueira, you have this impossible portrait. You're in front of a mirror, but you cannot see yourself. With the Degas sculpture, you have the portrait of a dancer. Here you have another portrait, which is a more mysterious portrait, with the work here by the artist Jan Vaux. In a way, this object here, like the Degas sculpture, belong to cultural history. This is a fragment, this is a detail of a sculpture which is extremely well known, a little bit like the Degas sculpture. This is a fragment of the Statue of Liberty. The artist Jan Vaux has reproduced at real scale the Statue of Liberty, that you know, which is on the Hudson River in New York, has reproduced the Statue of Liberty, but fragment by fragment, piece by piece. And all these fragments are dispersed across the world, never to be shown together. The title of this work is We the People. We the People being the first words of the American Constitution. And if you remember the beginning of the exhibition, when we have in a little test tube by Joseph Beuys, a rose, titled A Rose for Democracy, here with this object, We the People, this object that has been dispersed across the world, this symbol of freedom and democracy that has been fragmented, we have an artist again, like Joseph Beuys, meditating around the notion of democracy and freedom. And if with the artist Juan Munoz, we have a main courante, corremao, this idea of the relationship between a form and object, his response to time, to history, his reflection on the legacy of democracy from Beuys to Jan Vaux. This is the corremao of this exhibition, of this presentation of the collection. Here you have another portrait. In a way, it's a very conventional portrait, a very traditional portrait. It's painting. It's on canvas. It's a work by the British artist Lynette Yadiombo-Ake. In a way, it answers, again, if you look at the exhibition, there's all this connection between different works. If you look at this painting and you look at the work, the photographic series by Adrian Piper, where the body, the black body, is progressively disappearing in front of the black background of her photography, reflecting, with a racial awareness, the notion of invisibility. You have almost something similar here, where the black body of this dancer, or if we think it's a dancer, is almost disappearing on the background of the painting. Again, if you could try to connect the different aspects of this gallery, you have a dancer here, you have someone who looks like a dancer here. Here you have a dancer that comes from a very identified background in art history. Here you have something totally ambiguous. Lynette paints portrait. Her entire body of work are portrait. But these portraits are not individual portraits. They are imaginary portraits. They are portraits made, painted, invented. They are fiction of characters that who do not exist, but are informed by your attention to the world, by stereotype, by the way we almost project identity on people. She works as a painter, but she works a little bit like a fiction writer, because again, this character that looks like has been posing in front of the artist, they almost made eye contact, the eyes are very present in this painting, this character does not exist. It is a fiction, it is the fruit of her imagination.